Hello and welcome to All Shorts here in France. Well, the effects of Brexit are kicking in. And one punk band from Germany, well, they're feeling it too, yeah. They say they feel humiliated and degraded after being refused entry into the United Kingdom, locked in a room. Well, they were due to travel to the UK for their British tour, but it's been stopped. They can't get in, no, due to opaque and rather confusing post-Brexit rule changes. Hey, well, please boot the old like button. There will be a secret word at the end of this video. Well, Trigger Cut is a three-piece band from Stuttgart, and they were due to play 7 venues in the United Kingdom this week, but they were turned away by rather arrogant UK border force officials at Calais on Thursday, the 6th April last week. Now, Brexit hasn't just halted or, put a cock block on our bands performing in the European Union, no. With 88 carnets, work permits for every single country and cabatage. One drop off us, one for the trucks. Well, what happened to Trigger Cut is rather scary, as bands from the European Union are facing confusing and complex rules that mean that the UK tour dates might just not be worth their while. Now, 52% of the voting public in the United Kingdom back in 2016 on 23rd of June, you put that cross in the wrong box, obviously are a rather uncultured lot. Now, artists from the EU are being refused entry because of these post-Brexit requirements. They are so bloody opaque and confusing, said the band. The Trigger Cut say that their passports were confiscated and they were kept locked in a room for verification at Calais. Well, not locked in a room, they were under guard, yeah. Before a border force officer asked for a certain certificate. It's called a Certificate of Sponsorship, a COS, from each venue that they were due to play at for each individual person in that band. Well, that's just a headache, isn't it? It really is a headache. Well, the COS isn't something even I knew about, to be honest. That was even required. It's this new thing that's come out since the last time I was making videos about bands wanting to travel to the EU. But obviously that door swings both ways. Are the rules the same? I don't know yet. I'm going to have to research this one, because I've made several videos on this topic before, although they don't do very well, mind. Anyway, this story is circulating the band scene, not just in the European Union, no, but also in the United Kingdom. And it stands precedence as a warning to all bands to just don't bother. Don't bother travelling to the EU to support another act or be even the main act, the headliner. No, don't bother. Not unless you've got loads of dosh. And the same message is now travelling quite rapidly across the European Union. Maybe with the added caveat of a few Chinese whispers in there as well. But still, it's just a flippin' headache, you see. Why would they bother? They don't feel appreciated, no. Well, the band said that they drove 1,750 kilometres. To Calais and back to Stuttgart. Then they got the van hire costs, expenses, customs declarations, etc., etc. The 88 carnet type things and stuff, ferry tickets. The whole lot's all for nothing. And when you've got struggling bands already strapped for cash, it's not very helpful, is it? No. So quite frankly, I think this is absolutely disgusting. But that's Brexit for you, to be honest. And the band says that they feel that they're sitting in a deep, dark hole emotionally right now. He said, this is a nightmare. They say, I've never felt so degraded, sad and bad as I did today, on the day they got stopped at that border. We did not have the COS certificates. Instead, we planned to enter the United Kingdom under the permitted paid engagement, the PPE. Not that PPE, PPE. Permitted paid engagement. Exemption, which is actually free. But arrogant border police were, having none of it. Even though it is perfectly acceptable. With so many artists getting stuck at the border because the government guidance was unclear. Cherry on the cake, though, individual border officers, they can use their own discretion, you see. You only got to have some flippin' jobs worth, haven't you? Yeah. So they can refuse anyone if they like at the border. And there's no right to appeal. I think it's fair to say that the damage of Brexit to magicians is unfolding. And there is already major difficulties for touring bands with spiralling costs, so why would they bother? Now, I've used that word before, boycott. And it seems rather apt since EU citizens are, they're avoiding the United Kingdom anyway. I'm sorry, Scotland, but, as a whole, they're just avoiding the whole lot now. Not just because of the ID cards, no, but hostility too, at the border. Would you want to go through that? Just to be turned away, the risk of just being turned away, when all you want to do is travel to another country and perform for the benefit of all. Well, the secret word today is boycott, because I think we're going to be saying this across the board. So many countries are boycotting the UK. Okay, they do travel, what have you, to the United Kingdom, but the numbers are down, and this is going to hit our hospitality industry big time. Because it's not just the bands playing, it's the fact drinks don't get sold, the hoteliers, and, across the board, the whole thing's a chain reaction, and all the people visiting the actual band itself, to watch the bands perform. And also, it's the fact that it's getting harder and harder to get support acts. Now, I used to put bands on. You used to have a radio station years ago. It was an online radio station, but we were on Sky. And when we used to put gigs on, what have you, getting support acts and what have you, it was very difficult. Even headliners, wasn't particularly easy. So, putting these obstacles in the way is not going to help, is it? No, it's pretty blindly obvious, really. Anyway, what do you say? Please leave it in the comments down below. If you support the channel, you can do it on Patreon or buy us a coffee, and the links down below in the description. But please boop the old like button, because it helps it. The like button, because it helps the channel, And we're planting 1,000 trees here on 2 hectares of land. If you'll be part of that, there's a link down below in the description, and I'll make a sign to go with the tree, a bit like these signs here, and give your name on it, or maybe in memory of a loved one. But remember, the word of the day is boycott, and I think we'll be hearing quite a bit more of that. It's a bit of a harsh term, really, because it's it's kind of like finite, isn't it? Which isn't really finite, I suppose. It's just difficult, isn't it? Brexit, the gift that keeps on taking. Oh well, ta-ta. Oh, don't put the cross in the wrong box. Ta-ta.